Hello everyone, welcome to Nightmare Chronicles. If you enjoy the story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more chilling tales. Now get comfortable and relax. For the best experience, grab your headset. I've always loved collecting antiques. There's something about the history behind each piece, a story that's long forgotten but still lingers in the wood, the metal, the glass. So when I stumbled across that old mirror in a small dusty shop just outside of town, I knew I had to have it. It was an ornate thing, the frame carved out of dark oak, with intricate designs of flowers and vines twisting around its edges. The glass was old and slightly warped, but that only added to its charm. It looked like something out of a Gothic novel, mysterious and beautiful, with a price that was almost too good to be true. The shopkeeper, an old woman with a crooked smile, seemed eager to part with it. She warned me, though, as I handed her the money. "That mirror has a dark history," she said in a voice that was barely more than a whisper. "It's been passed from owner to owner for years, and none of them have kept it for long." I laughed off her warning, thinking it was just some sales tactic to make the mirror seem more valuable. After all, I didn't believe in haunted objects or cursed antiques. I was a rational person, and besides, the mirror was too beautiful to pass up. I brought it home that afternoon, hanging it in the hallway outside my bedroom. It fit perfectly with the rest of my collection, and for the first few days, nothing unusual happened. But that didn't last long. It started with small things I could almost explain away. Sometimes, when I passed the mirror, I thought I saw movement out of the corner of my eye. Just a flicker, a shadow, something shifting in the reflection. But whenever I turned to look, nothing was there. I told myself it was just the lighting, the way the glass warped images, nothing to worry about. Then, one night, I woke up in the middle of the night with a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. The room was dark, though only light coming from the faint glow of the moon through the curtains. I rolled over and glanced toward the hallway where the mirror hung, and that's when I saw it. In the mirror, there was a figure, tall, dark, standing just outside my bedroom door. My heart raced, and I shot out of bed, grabbing my phone for a flashlight. I pointed the light toward the hallway, but it was empty. The mirror, however, still held the faintest outline of a shadow, as if something had just been there. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and the shadow was gone. I told myself it was just a dream, that I'd been half asleep and imagining things. But deep down, I knew better. Something was wrong with that mirror. Over the next few nights, the nightmares began. Every time I fell asleep, I found myself in the same dream. I was standing in front of the mirror, but the reflection wasn't mine. The face staring back at me was someone else's, pale, gaunt, with hollow, sunken eyes and a twisted grin that made my skin crawl. In the dream, the reflection would beckon to me, its hand reaching out from the glass, pulling me closer. I tried to scream, to run, but my feet wouldn't move. The room would grow darker, colder, and the figure in the mirror would step through the glass, its twisted smile growing wider as it approached me. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, my heart pounding, and the first thing I'd do was check the hallway. The mirror always looked normal in the daylight, but at night it seemed to take on a life of its own. The dreams continued, growing more vivid, more terrifying. I started avoiding the hallway at night, keeping the bedroom door closed. But no matter what I did, I couldn't escape the feeling that something was watching me from the mirror, something that didn't belong in this world. One evening, I decided to look up the history of the mirror. Maybe the old woman in the shop had been right after all. I searched online, combing through old records and forums, and finally stumbled upon a story that sent a chill down my spine. The mirror had once belonged to a woman named Eliza Moore, a widow who lived in the early 1900s. According to local legend, Eliza had been obsessed with her own reflection, spending hours every day staring into the mirror. She became reclusive, withdrawing from society, and rumors spread that she had lost her mind. One night, she was found dead in front of the mirror, her face twisted in horror, her hands pressed against the glass, as if she had been trying to escape from something. After her death, the mirror changed hands multiple times, each new owner experiencing strange occurrences, nightmares, whispers in the dark, and eventually, sightings of a figure in the reflection. The more I read, the more I felt the weight of the mirror's curse. I couldn't shake the feeling that Eliza's spirit was still trapped in the glass, waiting for someone to release her. That night, I knew I had to get rid of the mirror. I couldn't take it anymore. The dreams, the figure in the reflection, the constant feeling of being watched. I grabbed a blanket and covered the mirror, determined to take it back to the shop first thing in the morning. But as soon as I covered it, the room grew cold. The air became thick, heavy, and the blanket over the mirror began to move, as if something underneath it was struggling to get out. My heart pounded, and I stumbled back, tripping over my own feet. The blanket fell to the floor, revealing the mirror once again. This time, there was no denying what I saw. A woman, Eliza, stood in the reflection, her hollow eyes locked onto mine. Her face was twisted, her lips moving in a silent scream. And then she stepped forward. I watched in horror as her hand reached out from the glass, her fingers cold and skeletal, brushing against my arm. I felt the icy grip of death crawl up my skin, and I screamed, stumbling backward, knocking over a lamp in my panic. The mirror shattered with a deafening crash, and the figure vanished. The room fell silent. I left the house that night, not bothering to pack anything. The next morning, I called a friend to help me move out. I didn't tell him why. I never went back to that house, and I never bought another antique again. I learned my lesson the hard way. Some things are better left forgotten